Hello! Today we're going to review the fundamental rules for boating safety in New Hampshire. This is everything you need to pass that exam on the first try. Here are the key questions for the New Hampshire boating exam. What agency administers boating safety in New Hampshire? New Hampshire Fish and Game Department. This is the primary authority for boating laws and enforcement. Let's continue. Who is required to complete a boating safety course in New Hampshire? Anyone born on or after January 1, 1975 who operates a motorboat. This ensures modern safety training for operators. Next question. What is the minimum age to operate a motorboat alone in New Hampshire? 16 years old. Operators must meet this minimum age to be unsupervised. Let's move on. Can a person between 12 and 16 operate a motorboat in New Hampshire? Yes, if accompanied by a person at least 18 years old who holds a valid boating certificate. Supervision is required for younger operators. Next point. What document must a boater born after January 1, 1975 carry while on New Hampshire waters? A valid New Hampshire boating safety certificate or approved equivalent. Proof of certification must always be on board. Continuing. Is the New Hampshire boating safety certificate valid for life? Yes, it does not expire once obtained. Once certified, you remain certified permanently. Let's keep going. What vessels must be registered in New Hampshire? All motorized vessels and sailboats over 12 feet used on New Hampshire waters. Registration ensures legal operation. Next question. How long is a New Hampshire vessel registration valid? 3 years. Renewal is required to stay compliant. Let's continue. Where must registration numbers be displayed on a New Hampshire vessel? On both sides of the forward half of the hull and block characters at least 3 inches high. Visibility is required for identification. Next point. Where must the registration decal be placed on a New Hampshire vessel? Within 6 inches of the registration number on both sides of the bow. Proper placement is strictly enforced. Let's move on. What is the legal BAC limit for boat operators in New Hampshire? 0.08%. Boating under the influence is treated seriously. Continuing. What is the penalty for a first offense BWI boating while intoxicated in New Hampshire? Fines up to $2,000, possible jail time and suspension of boating privileges. Penalties are severe and immediate. Next question. What is the no-wake speed in New Hampshire? A speed slow enough to produce minimal wake, generally under 5 miles per hour. This protects people and property. Let's continue. How close to a dock must a vessel operate at no wake speed in New Hampshire? Within 150 feet. Slow operation is required near structures. Next point. How close to a swimmer must a vessel maintain no wake speed? Within 150 feet of a swimmer. Safety around swimmers is critical. Let's move on. What life jacket requirement applies to children under 13 on a moving vessel in New Hampshire? A properly fitted USCG approved Type 1, 2, or 3 life jacket must be worn at all times. This is a strict safety requirement. Continuing. How many wearable life jackets must a vessel carry in New Hampshire? At least one USCG-approved wearable life jacket for each person on board. Every passenger must be accounted for. Next question. What throwable device is required on vessels 16 feet or longer in New Hampshire? A USCG-approved Type 4 throwable device such as a ring buoy or cushion. This provides emergency flotation. Let's continue. What is a Type 1 life jacket best suited for? Offshore and rough open water where rescue may be delayed. It provides the highest level of protection. Next point. What is a Type 3 life jacket designed for? Calm inland waters where quick rescue is available, offering comfort over automatic righting. Comfort increases likelihood of use. Let's move on. What fire extinguisher is required on motorized vessels under 26 feet with an enclosed engine space? At least one B1 USCG approved fire extinguisher. Fire readiness is essential. Continuing. What sound-producing device is required on vessels 16 feet or longer in New Hampshire? A whistle horn or other device audible for at least half a mile. Sound signals prevent collisions. Next question. What navigation lights must a motorized vessel under 26 feet display between sunset and sunrise? Red port light, green starboard light, and white stern light. These lights indicate position and direction. Let's continue. What does a red navigation light on a vessel indicate? The port left side. Color coding is standardized for safety. Next point. What does a green navigation light indicate? The starboard right side. Operators must recognize these instantly. Let's move on. What is the diving flag and what must nearby operators do? A red flag with a white diagonal stripe meaning divers are below vessels must stay 150 feet away in New Hampshire. This protects divers underwater. Continuing, what distance must vessels maintain from a displayed dive flag in New Hampshire? 150 feet. Maintain a safe buffer at all times. Next question. What is the rule when two motorized vessels meet head-on? Both turn to starboard to pass port to port. This prevents direct collision. Let's continue. What is the give-way vessel in a crossing situation? The vessel with the other on its starboard right side. This vessel must take action. Next point. What is the stand-on vessel required to do? Maintain course and speed while the give-way vessel maneuvers. Consistency avoids confusion. Let's move on. What does 5 short horn blasts mean on New Hampshire waters? Danger or I do not understand your intentions. This is an emergency signal. Continuing. What does 1 prolonged blast mean when leaving a dock or blind bend? Warning of the vessel's presence to nearby traffic. It alerts unseen vessels. Next question. What must a vessel operator do after an accident with injury, death, or disappearance in New Hampshire? Stop, render aid, exchange information, and report to New Hampshire Marine Patrol as soon as possible. Immediate action is required. Let's continue. What accidents require written reporting in New Hampshire? Death, disappearance, injury needing treatment beyond first aid, or property damage over $2,000. Reporting ensures accountability. Next point. What is the operator responsibility rule in New Hampshire? The operator is legally responsible for safe vessel operation and the safety of all aboard. Responsibility always rests with the operator. Let's move on. What speed restriction applies within 150 feet of a New Hampshire shoreline? No wake speed unless otherwise posted. Protect shoreline and people nearby. Continuing. What is the carbon monoxide danger on vessels? CO from engines and generators can accumulate in enclosed spaces and at the stern swim platform, causing death. This hazard is silent and deadly. Next question. What should be done before starting a gasoline engine after fueling? Run the blower for at least 4 minutes and check for fuel vapors before starting. This prevents explosions. Let's continue. What is the correct response when a passenger falls overboard? Throw a flotation device, keep them in sight, and maneuver carefully back to them. Quick response saves lives. Next point. What causes most fatal boating accidents in New Hampshire? Drowning, most often because the victim was not wearing a life jacket. Life jackets are critical. Let's move on. What weather condition should cause a boater to return to shore immediately? Darkening skies, rising winds, lightning, or sudden temperature drops indicating an approaching storm. Weather changes quickly on the water. Continuing. What is the New Hampshire law on water skiing and towing? The towing vessel must have an observer in addition to the operator or use an approved wide-angle mirror. Extra visibility is required. Next question. What hours are water skiing and towing prohibited in New Hampshire? From 1 hour after sunset to 1 hour before sunrise. Low visibility increases risk. Let's continue. What is a personal watercraft PWC under New Hampshire law? A vessel under 16 feet using an inboard motor and jet pump, including jet skis and wave runners. These have specific rules. Next point. What is the minimum age to operate a PWC in New Hampshire? 16 years old. No exceptions for younger operators. Let's move on. What restriction applies to PWC operation in New Hampshire regarding life jackets? The operator and all passengers must wear a USCG-approved life jacket while on a PWC. Life jackets are mandatory at all times. Continuing. What is the New Hampshire law on PWC operation at night? PWC operation is prohibited between sunset and sunrise. Night operation is not allowed. Next question. What is a no-wake zone and how are they marked in New Hampshire? A designated area requiring minimum speed marked by buoys or signs posted by local authorities. Always obey posted markers. Let's continue. What is the rule for anchoring in a navigation channel in New Hampshire? Anchoring in a marked navigation channel is prohibited. Keep channels clear for traffic. Next point. What penalty applies for reckless operation of a vessel in New Hampshire? Fines up to $1,000 and possible suspension of boating privileges. Reckless behavior has serious consequences.